Welcome back into the channel. So this video is going to be talking about a little news leak that just popped up this morning and has quickly been pulled down, it appears. A leak has come out of potential release pricing for the LG G3. And I must say, I am pretty surprised at what I was seeing. So before we get into that, if it's your first time stopping by the channel, appreciate you watching the video. If you're new here, consider subscribing, hitting the bell notification so you know when I do an upload. And if you like anything about the video at all, hit the like button, really helps out the channel. Appreciate it. So let's get into it. So I have noted the error, I guess we can call it an error in the price release here because like I said, it looks like it's been pulled down, but I have noted the pricing I've seen from the 55-inch all the way to the 83, and spoiler alert, the 83 pricing is already on the screen here. So let's get into it. If you're looking for a 55-inch LG G3, that's what you're in the market for. Pricing I've seen this morning, $2,496.99, $2,500. Okay? 65, if that's the size you're looking for, $3296.99, 77-inch. Now, I made the prediction in a prior video that I thought this price would come at $4399.99 to undercut Samsung's S95C at the same size by a little bit. Price leak this morning, $4496.99. So essentially they're price matching the 77 S95C. And then of course the 83, $6496.99. Okay, let's go over what my initial impressions here of the pricing. 55 and 65, little surprised. I feel like those are a touch high, especially considering what you can get a 77-inch C2. I know that's the C series versus the G series. I get it, but you're essentially spending more on a smaller display size. I know MLA technology, blah, blah, blah. The two here I'm really going to focus on the initial impressions are the 77 and the 83. Okay. The 77 being at $4496.99, so let's just call it $4,500, price matching the Samsung S95C. That, in my opinion, is a bit of a mistake. I really thought LG needed to come with a little bit of a price undercut of the S95C because we're not talking about an apples to apples comparison here. We're talking G3 is still a WRGB OLED. Yes, I know it's going to be brighter, allegedly. They're talking 2000 nits of brightness in light Canon mode. They're talking 70% brighter than a traditional OLED like the B series. Yeah, I expect it to be brighter than the G2 and the prior years. The S95C at QD OLED, this is not an apples to apples competition here. In my opinion, LG would have been smart to come at $43.99 or even $42.99. Undercut them a little bit, you know, give the consumer some pause for thought when they go into a retail outlet or they're shopping online, like, oh wow, that G3, you know, what you're getting with that, from my standpoint, is a better UI system, less clunky, more familiar UI, etc., whatever. The Samsung UI, man, the one they had, the Tizen they had last year, just didn't do it for me. Something simple and small as not having a dedicated input button on the remote. This is not a Samsung, you know, trash, I drag them through the mud video or anything. This is just me looking at, on the surface, what we know about the G3 so far, what we know about the S95C. Those are starting to surface on YouTubers' doorsteps. We're starting to see content on it. Just those two TVs against each other, I really think LG should have come a little bit lower in the price. And that 83-inch at $6,500, I think that's a massive mistake. I feel like that's going to need to have a significant price discount to sell at any kind of to sell how they want it to, I feel like that's going to need a significant price drop through the year. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong on that, but man, I got to be honest. I'm pretty disappointing with the pricing here. You know, I've had a thought or two here recently of replacing my 77-inch Sony A80J. That's our movie watching TV out in the living room. I've had some thoughts of replacing that with a G3, you know, a 77 G3. Really, at that price levels, you know, $100, $200 shouldn't be that big of a deal, I know, but it's just, for me, the principle of the thing. LG making these brighter, you know, and to touch on that a little bit, this 2000 nits of brightness in light cannon mode, number one, who the hell is going to be watching the TV in that mode with every single brightness setting cranked all the way up to get it to max bright? Who the hell is going to watch movies that way, or any content? If you do, more power to you. I don't know why you would, but this just screams to me like, hey, the TV potentially could reach that nit level, but nobody's going to be watching it at that. Let's talk about what the TV's brightness will be in a mode you actually might be watching it, like a filmmaker. I run my C2 in Filmmaker watching all, you know, pretty much all of my content, and it looks fantastic. You know, and that's at what, maybe like 800 nits of brightness or so, somewhere in there. I haven't measured it, but I assume it's going to be in the 7 to 850 range, somewhere in there in brightness, and it looks fine. But if you're somebody who is coming from an LED TV from the last 3 to 5 years and you're used to eye-searing brightness, we're concerned about going to OLED, was it being more dim? I get it, but you know, if we're talking nits here, you know, what are we thinking? Like for the 77 G3 measured in an accurate mode that you might actually be watching and enjoying content in, what are we thinking? Like maybe 1300 nits, somewhere in there. 1300 nits at the 77-inch size will still be 300-400 nits brighter than the G2 at the same size last year. So it's still a nice jump, but to price match it against the S95C and it still be a WRGB OLED just cranked up with brightness, I feel like that's not it. That wasn't the way to go. Leave a comment below. Are you surprised by the prices? Are you disappointed? Are you excited? Does it even matter to you? You know, the slight price difference from what was maybe expected by any of us, does that even bother you? So let me run through them again. 55-inch is going to be $2496.99 allegedly. Let me put allegedly before I go through them again. Allegedly, we don't know if these will be the official release, but this is just a leak from one particular retailer. So it's likely that these will be the prices. 55-inch, $2496.99. 65-inch, $3296.99. 77-inch, $4496.99. And 83-inch, $6496.99. Man, I have got to come back to that. So you're talking a $2,000 price difference between the 77 and the 83. And yeah, I know the 83 will look somewhat bigger in display size, but man, $2,000 difference? No way. If you were bound and determined to make the 77 $4,500, this 83 should have come at under $6,000. It really should have come at under $6,000. I think it would have been great to, if you just bound and determined to make the 77 $4,500, make the 83 $5,500 at most. For me, that seems somewhat reasonable for the size difference, etc. So again, I've rambled on long enough. Just wanted to make a video this morning with some of the prices that were out there. By the time you see this video and you search this, you may not be able to see any of this, but let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm really interested to see if you're in the market for one of these TVs. Let me know how you feel about these prices. Does this bother you at all? Or you good to go? Whatever. So again, thanks for watching the video. Again, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you know when I do an upload. If you enjoyed the content at all, hit the like button. All those things are free. They really help out the channel. And until the next one.